Hello, hello, hello. It looks like we are live. Yay! Finally, it's been a while. My name is Érika for those that do not know me. I'm sure that, well, most likely if you are here, it's because you know me, and I really appreciate you guys being here. I would, first of all, would like to say hi to anyone that's here watching this. Feel free to put on a comment, tell me where you are from. But I will delve into this. So what am I doing today? I will be doing some retopology. I've been actually for a while wanting to do that for this specific character that we have on the screen. This cat boy with the lunch box. But the thing is, as much as I like this sculpt that is posed and everything, this is not something that's gonna work. I need to do some adjustments before I can start retopologizing. So let me stop this and I will open the project that is more ready for retopologizing. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about the reasons why of the modifications that I need to do for this. I will change this matte cap. This is not for any specific reason, just so we can see a little bit better what I mean. But the first thing is that if I am gonna be retopologizing, it means that I will be animating, at least if I do it by hand. And if I am animating, starting with a model that is already posed, that's gonna be an issue. So I need to go for something neutral. In this case, I am going for an A pose. You might have heard about this. An A pose, you have your arms extended, but a little bit lower. I can actually bring a little drawing here to make this absolutely clear. Hopefully I don't get super confused with this software. Is my Apple Pencil working? Oopsies. Alright, I will have to disconnect for 1 second the iPad before I can continue. For some reason my Apple Pencil is not responding. Apologies for that, give me just 1 second. The image is gonna be gone. Oh no, that's horrible. Okay, connect to the Apple Pencil. Yes, it should be working now. Okay, the image will be back. If you are wondering what do I use to connect the iPad to the streaming, I use this software called App Power Mirror. Yes, Apple Pencil is working now. Alright, cool. Perfect. Alright, so there's two main poses here. So we have the A pose, gotta do like a super basic thing here. A pose, the arms are extended like that, like an A, of course. Can I make this wider? Yes, I can. Arms extended, and legs, we also want them a little bit separated. So, because if they're too close together, they might be a bit complicated. They might be too squeezed and we might not be able to access that area. So this is gonna be the ideal. This is what is used the most now on CG, the A pose to start retopologizing. You might hear about the T pose, which is very similar. So we have our character, we have our main pieces, but our arms are extended perfectly like this. And the legs can be a bit more, they can be a tiny bit on A, or they can be perfectly straight. Usually we don't like perfectly straight because again we're gonna be on the software trying to get into this inside part, and if they're too close together it might be complicated. The T-pose is not so much, it's not used so much anymore, mainly because when we put our arms like this, we're really engaging our muscles. If I go a little bit to the side, you might be able to see it. Well, I'm not very muscular, to be honest. But to put my arm like this means that I'm engaging my deltoid here. And that is an unusual position. It means that my muscle is like really tense, like my muscle is working. And if I move to another position when I animate, the muscle is gonna look like it's quite tense, like it's working. So that's one of the main reasons. Like, it's difficult to move around. It's not gonna look as natural. This is why the A pose is the ideal when we are thinking about neutral position for our characters. Anyway, coming back here to Nomad. Look how the tail, I also have it in the diagonal because that is more natural. If I had the tail perfectly horizontal, it would also mean that it would be kind of engaged. So what else? Look at the legs. We have a natural bend going here. They're not perfectly straight. This is gonna help later when we are rigging, when we're adding bones. And again, when I talk about a neutral pose, I'm gonna take this to the side. Is this a better color? Yeah, this looks a bit better. Bigger. If I look at the legs, so this is gonna be from a side view. So this is my pelvis. Then I have the top of the leg, I have my knee, and then I have the bottom of the leg, and I have my feet. And this is a neutral position. We have this natural how to call it, like flexion going on the leg. So that's what I'm trying to get on my character. Very subtle, at least. Again, when I'm rigging later, when I'm adding bones so they can move, this flexion is gonna help. It's gonna make it behave as we want. If I don't have that flexion, if you like really put your leg like hyper extended like that, it's not great for your muscles and it's gonna give problems later on rigging. So again, this is why I made this slight modifications. Now I'm thinking that this character is gonna move a little bit like rubber hose animation. Like it's all like, it's not that the limbs are not as present, but it's like, yeah, I like a rubber hose. It's like old Mickey Mouse. So I'm not going super crazy on this. I might still maybe push it a tiny bit more, just a touch. Again, so the rigging is a bit easier later. The same is gonna happen for the arm, and you may be hearing a lot of noises in the background. I also apologize for that. Michael is making a coffee and I forgot to close the door. Silly me. Let me isolate the arms, and for anyone that's just arriving, hello, welcome. Happy to have you here. Feel free to tell me where you're watching from this. I always love to hear all the multiple places that you guys are at. I am in New Zealand. It's morning-ish here, 10:40, yeah, it's morning's almost finished. And it's Sunday for me. Also summer, for those that don't know it, the Southern Hemisphere. It's the opposite season. And Mikey Madness from Puerto Rico runs up from France, and it's 10 p.m. Cool. Oh, it's getting a bit late for you. Going back to the arm. Yeah, so I'm gonna add a tiny bend for the very same reason, to have that natural curve, the natural flexion that we have on a neutral pose. Nothing too exaggerated. I'm getting lost here a little bit. Who else? We have Slice Keeper from New Mexico. Ivan says, you had no idea I'm from New Zealand. I'm actually Mexican, but I live in New Zealand. That explains my weird accent. Mike, he says that I pronounce that beautifully. I'm glad. And if I mispronounce things, please feel free to correct me. When I was teaching, I had a student that had to send me a video on the correct pronunciation of his name because I would just never get it right.
Who's that?
Ewan.
Oh, it was spelled really weird. Oh no, it was Irish. It was the Irish spelling, Ewan.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
Anyway, I got the nice curvature similar to the knee, so now that is more natural. Again, that is to help the rigging later. Also, Michael is here now, by the way.
I woke up.
He woke up barely, a little bit late. Okay, so this is getting closer to be ready to retopologize. Not quite there, there's a few extra things that I will need to do. Just addressing Mikey's question, I will be using CozyBlanket in the iPad. I'm using the cheaper version, I think the $15 one. I still haven't gotten the full expensive one, which I have torn feelings about, but I will talk about that later. Ivan Cal is from Space. Ah, you're in New Zealand too? Oh, we both are Spanish speaker. Awesome. What part of New Zealand? Okay. Model. I get too distracted sometimes speaking. Okay. Yes, neutral pose. Okay, yes, when I am making a character, I need to start thinking about the final output of my character. Is this going to be used in film? Is this going to be used in game? If in this case, I'm going for game. But also, what type of game am I going for? It's not the same if I am thinking a PC game that is going to be super realistic, a PC that has a lot of capabilities, or if I go to the other extreme, I go to an old mobile phone. In this case, I'm going to go for a mobile game, and I'm gonna make my poly count. By poly count, I mean the number of faces that I have in total. I'm gonna make it between 5K and 7K. Why am I going for mobile game? I think the design works well. Mobile games, we gotta make designs that work tiny. Like, they gotta be readable, they gotta be recognizable. There's not an opportunity for a lot of details when we're working like that. More people also have access to mobile games. As much as we love super detailed games where you can see the wrinkles of the characters, not everyone have the console or a PC that is powerful to run those games. So they're amazing, but if you make a game that everyone can run in their phones, it is more likely that people are gonna play your games. And there are more games that are like this. What else? I'll get to the chat in a second. I just want to make sure that I go through like all the basics here. So yeah, again, 5K and 7K. That is roughly what's gonna be my goal here. Retopology takes a while. It's likely that I'm not gonna get done here, and I kind of plan this to make it more like a class to explain the basics of retopology. Oh yes, I want to talk about about details that I got rid of. My previous model, I'm gonna open it real quick here. Oh, so many projects. Okay, my original model have these whiskers, but I got rid of them. They look pretty, but those are so tiny that they kind of start getting lost if I think about mobile. They're such small details. And also, let's say, oh, they read. I might keep them, but right now they are made with volume. This is gonna be quite a bit of information, which I can simplify in a different way. I could make this a plane with a few divisions, and I can get the same result. But for simplicity, I got rid of this because those are gonna be too small to read. And if I start to get too much detail into something that becomes so small, it kind of becomes like noise instead of actually understanding what we are seeing. Let me go back to this one. I also have separated some stuff. So we have Tito, which is the cat, Tito el gatito, Tito the cat. I also have the fish, which is in the lunchbox. That would have to be independently retopologized. I also need to mirror this because at the moment it's missing one eye. Silly me. The lunchbox, that's also separate. that's inside. That I would retopologize that independently. And Tito comes with a backpack, which I would also do separate. So I will export each of those pieces. At this point, I am merely gonna focus on Tito. Let me have a quick look at the chat before I carry on. We have Sung Jung Hong from Vancouver. Nice. Looking forward to go to Vancouver. I got lots of friends there. I will be using CozyBlanket for Retopology. Ivanka, I will only say that I am the Canterbury region, mostly because I don't want to get too detailed on my location here online. Let's see, Leia is in Los Angeles, sunny today. Lots of rain in Los Angeles, that's unusual. Last time I went there was a massive storm and people there were so confused, so surprised. Am I gonna paint the model for planning the retopo where to place a 5-star? Yes, I will kind of do a little diagram for that, Mikey. I will kind of explain the reasons of the choices behind the topology. Right now I'm just getting the final things ready to send this model. What am I gonna be animating? The legs will be animatable, the arms, the tail, the head will move around, but the face itself is not going to be animatable. Well, it's going to be a texture. So I'm going to paint the eyes, I'm going to paint the mouth in different emotions. But that's not a mesh that is moving. It's not the model that is moving, but it's the image that I have on the model that is moving. I don't know that the ears might move, they might move slightly. That shouldn't be too complicated. The thumbs would move as well, tiny movement. I'm not sure about those thumbs, to be honest. They sort of read, but they could be taken out, they're not necessary. And last thing before I go into retopology, I need to decimate. I need to get rid of a lot of information. Look, I have so many, here you might be able to see my mouse hovering over this. I have in that hit 777K, 777K faces. That is a lot. I need to get rid of information to make sure that CozyBlanket runs well. All of this can be simplified. The best way to simplify it here, I'm gonna go into the topology menu up here, and I'm gonna go into the is it this one, Dynotopo? Yeah, I mean these two kind of help. Actually, let's go to the last one, to decimation and UV. So decimation, that's gonna let me reduce the poly count while keeping the details that I want. And I'm gonna leave this here so you can see. And here it's telling me that my target poly count is 50%, so whatever this poly count is, I'm gonna reduce it. I'm gonna just tap there on decimate. Let's wait a second, and you may be able to see how this mesh is changing. And I still think that I can get rid of quite a bit. I'm gonna take this out just to make sure that it still looks nice. It does. Gonna decimate again, and see how those polys are getting bigger and bigger. But every time I need to check that I'm not killing my sculpt. There's a point in which the shape is gonna start to look bad because I am going too far. Might be, yeah. See how now the corners are starting to get blurred, so that is too much. So this is still decent. I might go just reduce by something 20. Was that the correct one? Do I need to go actually higher? That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna just gonna leave it here. It's a little bit always going back and forth, and this is something that you will probably are too bored looking at me just tapping at the decimation button. The body itself is not high topology, so I'm gonna leave it as it is, but these shoes are high topology, so I will work on them. Let's decimate again, decimate, check the form, it's not getting lost, especially the corners are the ones that start suffering. Ooh, there's something funky here on the back. That's not very pretty. I am going to smooth this to get rid of that, but I need to have symmetry on. Smooth, 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 smooth. I don't want that noise there. Yes, it's gone now. Let's try decimating one more. And this is probably a good moment to stop. I could go a bit lower actually. Just, I'm afraid to lose the shape. I'm afraid to break it. Alright, I think this is good enough. This is perfect to take into CozyBlanket. So I'm gonna select all this. I have Tito, all my cat inside a group. So that's the thing that I'm gonna be exporting. So here, project, export. I'm gonna go for OBJ. OBJ is one of the most universal formats that you can go for. Include only selected objects. I don't need colors for this. I will lose the eyes, but CozyBlanket is not about painting. I think that's perfect. So let's do my export. And I might just take this straight into CozyBlanket. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And CozyBlanket is not struggling looking at the model. If it starts getting laggy, if that's because you may need to decimate, but it seems like we did a pretty good job. So we can start playing here with CozyBlanket. And it was, oh, Aiden, I didn't say hi to you. Hi, Aiden. Leia mentioned, she didn't know there was a $15. I'm not sure if it's $15, that is to be confirmed. But yeah, there's 3 versions of CozyBlanket. I might be... 3, yes.
Oh, the free version as well?
Yes, I'm including the free version. I think I can show here the comparison. Compare the features. Yeah, so we have the free one. Here is, yeah, it's listing all the features. Which is not gonna let you save. It's mainly just to like start playing around with the software, but at the end you cannot do anything with it. Then we have the light one. This is the one that I'm working with. Light has a lot more functions. You can save, you can do a lot with it. And I believe it's $15, but you might have to revise that on your store. And then we have the standard one. The standard one is quite a bit more expensive. I don't quite remember the prices. I am here on a Mexican Apple store, so it's gonna be in Mexican pesos, which I am sure you guys have no idea how that compares to your coin. So yeah, it makes no sense to focus on that. I want to talk a little bit about retopology, because if you have never done anything about this, you will come here and you're gonna be like, oh, I can like start drawing this, yeah, perfect, but like, what's the logic? Like, how do I put stuff here? How do I know if it's a lot? How do I know if it's not a lot? What's the right order for things? The main logic in retopology is trying to find rings of movement. What do I mean by rings of movement? I'm gonna get rid of this ones here. I am going to take a quick screenshot of this cat to bring it into my
Does the model need to be airtight before you retopple?
Yes, I would say yes. I don't know if CozyBlanket supports non-airtight models.
But generally, the answer would be no. You can have a model that is non-airtight if you're retopologizing in other software. your meshes, are they intersecting or are they actually contiguous? Your arms and legs and body?
They are separated, so they're
Okay.
intersecting.
Oh, so it's not really airtight then. Well,
Well,
guess each individual
Each mesh is airtight. By airtight, it means that there's no holes.
Yeah. So, but it should work with non-airtight meshes.
Yes, but sometimes, like this, because the software is shrink wrapping, it starts getting confused or where to go
it's a
to.
2D plane.
Yeah.
Right, I see.
Yeah, so generally in Nomad, it's by default you're gonna have closed meshes with no holes. If you bring something maybe from Blender or Maya, that's where you may start having other, well, that's where you may have non-airtight. But I would generally recommend have airtight. It's gonna make things easier, because what we are drawing is sticking to a surface. If there's a hole, the software can get confused, like, oh my god, where am I going to? Yeah, that becomes an issue.
That's something they should work on.
What's that?
That's something they should work on.
They should work on.
That's something that they should make, so it's like camera projection to figure out which side is the side of the
Gotcha.
Because there's often times that you'd have like a plane or something that you might have attached to a model.
Fair enough. Yeah. Anyway, that's getting a bit too technical for what we are doing. Alright, so rings. What do I mean by rings? I literally mean a ring that is gonna go around areas that are gonna move like that. So like I mentioned before, my legs are gonna move, so I will need a ring in there. Again, this, if I look from a top view, this kind of would look like that, and it would be a collection of rings going around the leg like that. I will have also rings in the arms that is gonna move. The thumb will have its own rings. I will need a ring for the body going like that. And the head, then maybe just a ring for the ears, considering that they might move, but the rest of the head is gonna move like a block, so I'm not super worried there about that. And here, the same, it will move like a block, unless I wanna move like the toes, or at least like the frontal part of the feet independently, kind of like to make the movement, like the break of the feet when it's walking. I might need a ring going around here. And I will switch real quick into Maya to show you why I want these rings. Let me
Is this character gonna have squash and stretch? The answer is yes. All characters.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct what Michael said. All characters have squash and stretch.
No, I mean like, but it should be rigged for it though.
Yes, correct. Okay, so here I am in Maya, and I have 3 different types of cylinders. And see how I have my rings. Let me be able to select this. I have a ring here. Sweet. A ring here. Another ring here. Another ring here. Now this one, I don't really have rings. I have rings here, and I have rings here. These are pretty much the same poly count, but this is a different arrangement of topology. And this one, it looks like it's had a lot of triangles, however, I do have rings that are going around there. And with this, I can show you how the deformation works. So I'm gonna select here. I put a little modifier that is gonna make them blend. Let me make this, not blend, move. I am getting confused with my words. Bend, not blend. And look, woo, how this is distorting nicely. The rings are helping the distortion. This is similar to what the arms or legs are gonna be moving. Even the body can do that. This one looks weird, but again, it still has rings. So even though it has those triangles, we still have a ring arrangement. And see how it's different from this one, because we have more resolution, more topology. The curve is nicer. What I care about is to have enough so the curve looks nice for the platform that I'm going for. Again, if I'm going for mobile, kind of like a distance like this, see, even though it looked very polygonal before, at a distance, at the real size that I'm gonna appreciate my asset, this starts to read. It might need a touch more. I can try. Oh, I'm not gonna add more. That's gonna take a bit more time. But now we have this one, the crazy boy, this chaotic cylinder with only rings on the top and bottom. What happens if I try to bend it? Blah, madness and pain, and yeah, that's not good. So when we are thinking about topology for animation, we need to have rings that are perpendicular to the movement that we are doing. Let me go back. iPad, live stream, what happened to my... Here we go. So we have the thing. This is like the bone that is bending, right? This is the bone that is doing this, if I'm thinking maybe of a leg. Boop, boop, boop. So the rings would have to be perpendicular. Whoop, 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 whoop. Here we have a transition. Whoop, 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 whoop. Perpendicular just means in a T fashion, 90 degrees-ish. This is gonna be moving around, so it's not gonna stay as straight. But hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of what I mean. So anyway, I got my main rings, an idea of what those are gonna be. So I can come back to CozyBlanket and start drawing them. If you want a tutorial on how CozyBlanket works, you can just go here to at the bottom. It says tutorial slideshows and it explains each part. I'm not gonna go through them. They're honestly really good. That I'm not even sure that it needs a YouTube video from me. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a ring here.
Is that too loud, do you think?
It might get loud.
Okay.
I know that it's warm.
It's like 1,000,000 degrees in here.
It's like 1,000,000 degrees in here. It's correct. Remember how I told you about the legs, that we wanted to separate them a bit? This is the reason, because we're like going in there and it can get annoying to move around if I put them too close together. I would love to open the window, but we live next to a noisy avenue. I'm gonna move this to the bottom just so you can visualize it a bit better. Boop. But yeah, the ring would start up there. And now the next question is, like, okay, I made a ring, but how many polygons do I make my ring of? How many bits do I need for it? One of the main things that you want to think about retopology is that your silhouette reads well, that the curvatures look like curves, like I just showed you in Maya. One of them was looking too polygonal, and if I have a bit more information, it starts looking good. A good rule of thumb when you're working with low topology is to have round figures that are 8 polygons. I'm gonna go back here real quick. So we have, that's not a, so we have that round, that ring, look at it from the top. So I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, that is generally a good number. I think I'm getting confused here. The idea is to be able to break this like this. I want to be able to divide vertically and I want to be able to divide horizontally. If you're not going as low poly, yeah, I did a mistake here. Scratch that. That's not possible to divide like I did it. Or is it? It's a bit twisted. No, it is. Yeah, it's correct. Sorry. ordered it in a weird fashion and my brain got confused. So yeah, we have 8 divisions, a ring made of 8 polygons. This is good enough for low poly like I will be working on. If you are going for more detail, maybe nothing and something not as small as mobile, you can go further, but the idea is to make it multiples of 4. So again, you are able to divide it in the helps. That is going to be really useful, especially later for UVing and texturing. So I'm going to start counting here. I'm going to make this just for reference. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that was a lovely coincidence that I did that like 8. Cool. I'm gonna turn on the mirroring here so I do it on both sides. And before I carry on, let me just have a look at the questions. Yeah, I love Tito and Señor Mariscos. Oh my god, I love that name. Señor Mariscos, that's just perfect.
Mariscos?
Mariscos, seafood.
Ah.
That's a fish that Tito is carrying. Let me see, we already went to... let me see, thumbnails. I might be mispronouncing, so I'm sorry.
It could be thumb.
Oh, I see, I see!
It's either thumbnails or it's actually their name is thumb, which sounds like it's a Nepalese name, but I could be wrong. Or it could just be a clever
Took me a
joke.
while.
I have no idea.
Anyway, do you just need rings at the joints or all along the shape? You would need them all along the shape. Kind of like what I illustrated. Well, where did the image go? Here. Yeah, you would go through all of that areas. You can stop. I mean, you're kind of always gonna have rings everywhere. But anywhere that it's an area that is deforming, that's where you have to really prioritize your rings. If I have a video on the channel on Retopology for the face, and you will see how I talk about rings around the mouth, for example. I go around here, around the lips, and then also here where I have the laughing lines. I would need rings around my eyes because that is gonna be deformable. So yeah, any area that is gonna be moving around, there's gonna be rings everywhere. Rings. Banana phone. I'm glad you enjoy my joke. He never enjoys my jokes.
That one got me.
He never enjoys my jokes, and I am such a great comedian. Okay, I'm gonna try to make these polygons as equal size as possible. It can get a little bit tricky. Something that I like about CozyBlanket, the full version, is that you can hide areas of the mesh, so it's not like, oh, I'm working here and there's like, oh, giant thumb that is in my way. Okay, let's make ring here. 1, 2, 3. Hey, 3, that's annoying. 3, 4, 5. That got connected weird. 5, 6, and I can make a division there. I feel like I already got confused. I can be really dumb with numbers. Okay.
English.
And English, yes. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Haha! I got it! Now we have this tool that is called Relax here on the left, and as I press it, it can help me do a more natural distribution. So this can also help me get the sizing more accurate. So we have that ring there. That is a good amount. Now, a ring of 8 in the thumb might be a bit too much when I'm thinking again that my character is gonna be quite tiny on the screen. So instead of going that crazy, I might just go for 4. Gonna go around this side. And you might be wondering, but you are losing the shape, you are losing detail. How are you gonna get all that later? We can get that later by using bakes, which is now something that CozyBlanket does. We can get high resolution information into something that is not high resolution. We can emit. That's kind of like a wide topic there. I will try to cover it on a video, but that is later. Shall be later. And I might just add a division there. You can sort of see how simple this thumb is. Might do another little division and relax. Oh, a bit too much relax. This might look too simple, but it's pretty good for what I will need on a mobile game. And like I mentioned before, this thumb might be a bit too much of a small detail anyway, which might get lost. Why spending time on things that people are not gonna see? Alright, we got that ring there, which I actually completed. We can do a ring. Now the body is bigger. Bigger things, we can have more real estate. We can have more polygons for this. So I'm not gonna force 8 rings here. But like I said, I want multiples of 4 so I can chop things vertically and horizontally if I'm looking at a ring from the top. Possibly 12 would be a good number, so I have to do 6 on each side. We will see. I might go for 16. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is already 6. Let me test how this looks. Relax, relax, relax. Relax. Move, attach. And for anyone that is just joining us, welcome. I would love to hear where you guys are joining from. And any question that you have about retopology, now is the time. I am hoping to make a video soon, like kind of like an overview of getting a character ready for rigging and animation just on the iPad. So getting all the textures, getting all the UVs and all that done here. And a character that is for a game, like this one. It's specifically a mobile game. I think I might go for 8. It feels like 6 is a bit restricted. I can't quite decide. A lot of retopology is testing things, testing and repeating. Holy crap, I have done so much redoing retopology over and over again in my life. It can get boring, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If you have watched my video about is CozyBlanket worth it, I'm telling you, one of the least popular things in CG is retopologizing, because it can be quite boring. Okay, so I got that ring there. It's like a nice necklace. Oh, we have Holly joining from Nottingham, the UK. Hello, Holly. A sunny old England. There's a lot of English people in New Zealand. Got very nice friends that are from the UK. Alright, so the ring for the ears. Will 8 be enough? I don't know. This is an important part of the character. I might need more. so it reads well. See how it's kind of limited, and this is super not 8. Super 8. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, it was 8. Apparently, I cannot count, but I cannot count consciously, but I can unconsciously. Okay, now this is something interesting. I have corners here, these sharp edges. I want to have edges there. I want to be able to read those more naturally. So I want to line up these edges that I am creating to that shape. Again, my silhouette is important, and that is going to be part of the silhouette. See how I turn around and how I see that plane change. So I want that. I will have that edge there, like that triangle that is happening there on the side. I'm gonna leave it partially unfilled now. There. And here on the back, it's rounder, it's chill. I don't need to have that sharp. I just gotta make sure that this reads nicely. And I kind of want to align this with the tip. Whoops, kind of did a refill there. It's got some cool, like, automated tools, like to get quick fillings, but right now I don't care about this. Now, something I quite like about CozyBlanket that I wish that more software, Retopology software came from, is being able to color loops, because this helps me keep track of these areas. It's such a simple thing, and I can't believe that no one else does it. Or it's like a massive workaround. Okay, I believe I got my main loops here. Oh, I forgot in the tail. The tail! Let's go for 8 again. 1, 2, 3, and it's 4. Easy peasy, I can count just fine sometimes. And like Michael is saying, we are missing the snow because it's summer in New Zealand. Well, I'm kind of torn because I grew up in Mexico. I am a summer person.
You're not torn. You miss the snow. Snow's the best.
Yes, but I also like summer, so I'm not hating summer.
You hate summer.
I don't. I get to do different things. But yes, I just got into snowboarding the last winter, and it was great. I loved it. And now my heart is empty when I cannot do it. Let's see. So Retopology is basically tracing over your 3D model to create a nice animatable and heavily simplified meshes in a control manual way. That is a great definition.
That's very succinct.
Yeah. Yep, that's a great way to put it.
Not necessarily heavily simplified, but what I would say instead of simplified is optimized.
Optimized, yes.
Optimized for your target platform. So you've got 3 target platforms. You've got mobile, which is the most simple in terms of like the most optimized you'd want. You've got AAA or AA games, which are a more higher poly count, so have more detail. And then you have film, which is going to be the highest poly count because just with the resolutions that you work with and the closeness of the shots generally to the assets, you want the mesh to have like a high resolution detail to support textures and to support displacement and more complex things. But you are correct though, that was very succinct.
Yeah, and so far I have only really talked about games, but yeah, it's true, Michael is talking about film, which is completely different. Optimization is like, how can I get the most out of what I'm working with? With games we're talking about real-time rendering, which means that if I tell the character to go right, it will go right in that moment. It's not pre-made. Whereas when I'm watching films, it's doing its thing, I'm not controlling it, so you can pre-render all that stuff. And you're just showing me the images already done. In games, you are creating the images while you are playing. So generally it requires to be smart. Well, I don't know if it's smarter. it needs more economy, let's say, more economical about the resources that you are using. Okay, just continuing here. Retopology can be really tedious, because you're just doing the same thing over and over again.
CozyBlanket does seem to make it slightly more less tedious, more interesting.
It's more, it feels like it's gamified.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that.
Okay, making sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I missed one. Oh my god, why am I so bad at counting? I'm gonna leave it like this, and when I connect it, I will realize if I missed something. Okay, now the tricky part is gonna be connecting this stuff, connecting things with one another. Let me bring real quick my outline, because I made an outline for this. Yes, we are filling spaces. We are filling spaces. Maybe the eye is a good way to talk about this. So I am gonna create a loop around the eye, a ring around the eye, mainly because I want this sharp shape, this here. I want to preserve this corner, so the best way to do it is to have actual edges there. Now I am not too worried like with the legs and arms about, ooh, like how is this gonna deform, because this is not gonna deform, which gives me a lot more liberty. I still want to keep it as economical as possible. I want to make sure that this is symmetrical. So, but my priority would be the silhouette, making sure that this reads nicely and it reads in the distance that I want it to read. And Joyce Bettis, oh my god, it's so cool. CozyBlanket specifically for retopology. CozyBlanket does retopology, UV unwrapping, and baking. Baking, which is like getting details of a high resolution model into a low resolution model, like making this look as if it had wrinkles and this and that, but without actually having all that information there. So it's really good. Nomad does very basic baking, and it does automatic what's it called, automatic UVs. But if you want to have control over this, if you want to animate, mostly that's the main reason, then you gotta work manually on this. And I think this is symmetrical now. I'm talking, so I'm getting distracted, and as you can see, I can be real dumb when I'm counting. So I got that ring that is preserving the inside, the outside shape, sorry, this corner that is going around. Now it's about filling this, and this becomes a conversation about the right shapes of polygons. As you can see, I am doing quads. They are not perfect squares, but they are polygons made of 4 sides. This is gonna be our best friend, the quads. So here, see how natural that became. Whoa, I have quads, I have quads. Lovely, pretty, beautiful. That filled up quite nicely. I got my shape, and it all remained quads. And this is where it can get, let's say, heated for some people. Sometimes I'm not gonna be lucky like that, and I'm gonna be left with a space that is essentially gonna create a triangle, and there's there's a group of quad purists which said you need quads always. Quads are the right thing. Quads are the right way to work. Triangles are the devil. Triangles have a reason to exist. There is a reason why we will need triangles sometimes. Quads are great for deformation. Triangles are more tricky, but there's definitely a need for triangles. In game assets, you will often see triangles. In film production, it's not common. You might see triangles on areas that are non-deformable. Just looking real quick at the comments, and we have Dan Young from north of Boston. Boston. I am terrible at accents, but I love Boston. I wish I spent more time there. Michael and I went a little while ago.
5 years ago. No, 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay, I may need to resolve this nose with triangles. We will see. I think you guys are not in luck so far. Wait, no. I do need a triangle, I think. No, sorry. It's quads. Ha! I'm getting good at this. I'm getting quads naturally. I will need a triangle eventually. Because so far I'm sure that this is like, oh, this is looking easy. Like, retopology is not complicated. Oh my god, retopology can be a mess. It's a puzzle. Sometimes it's a very annoying puzzle. But yeah, that was resolved with a quad. Woohoo! Perfect. And now I am thinking how I will connect this. See? Ooh, that could be a nice connection there. That could be a nice connection there. Is this reading kind of okay in the distance? I believe it is. Of course, I need to see the final product to be completely sure about this. Now, let's talk about this sort of connections. Look at what is happening here. I have this vertex, this point, and it's connected to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I look, for example, at this one here, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone mentioned this before. This is what is called a pole. I'm gonna bring this back. So again, I have my, is this big? Yes. I have my vertex. Let's connect it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's creating kind of like this star shape. This is okay. This is acceptable. Actually, I probably need these triangles here that I'm creating. But imagine these are quads. Ooh, this is a lovely quad. Ooh, perfect. Anyway, this pole is necessary. We need it when we are connecting things here. These are gonna happen. There is nothing wrong with those 5-star, 5-point pole. The problem is when we start adding more to this. Can I? Yes. What if I make this a 6 pole? Now that is gonna bring us problems later. Hey, that's not what I wanted. If I start forcing this, this is gonna have trouble later animating. A pole is necessary, but we wanna put them in areas that are not animating. We wanna kind of hide them. So this is not an area that we're gonna animate right here, so that's not a problem. If I were to put a pole like right here where this movement is originating, that might give me an issue, like here in the middle of the ring. When we are connecting rings with each other, we're commonly gonna see poles like this one. But if it's 5, 5 is a good number. More than 5, that is an issue. Hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions about what I'm going around. Alright, let's try to connect some of the legs. Yeah, the arm, that should be a funky one to do. Okay. I'm thinking about this. What is the best way to do it? So we have this division here. I want to make sure that I get the right one. Oop, tweak here. Do I have enough information there? No, I will move this bit to the side. So this is what I want to connect. Ah, that connected weird. That's what I want to do there. Just want to get it closer here. So there we go. I will need to redistribute here. I am glad that I added more divisions here. I think I made it a 16 division. Can multiple the 4s. So I need to have information here, but I need to make sure this is reading on the side as well. Some guessing around, well, kind of like planning. And oh, look what we got. We have another pole, but that is fine because I have a ring that is gonna be here, and then these rings are independent, making sure that I'm not breaking the rings. So I'm gonna continue here, and this might get squeezed a little bit, but this is still gonna be a ring. Whoop, come on. And this is gonna be here, and I tweak it. I make sure that these edges are following my sharp corners. Pretty sharp corner. Yeah. And this is a ring going around. This is how we are uniting the ring on the top and the ring on the bottom. And I'm gonna continue this down here. I'm basically wanna mirror what is happening up here. I'm gonna mirror it at the bottom. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I will need to do some adjustments here. It's getting squeezed a bit weird, but I mainly care about the connections. I can take time to polish this to make it look prettier later. I don't want to have things polygon super stretched. Oh, program is complaining a bit here. Let me redo that. What? Not there, silly. So see how it's guessing where I want to put the polygon? What Michael and I were saying before about having meshes that are not closed and have holes. That's the kind of issues that you can encounter, like it's not quite sure where to put things, where to stick the polygon to the surface. And here I have intersecting meshes, which is already kind of causing a bit of trouble. If I had open meshes, that would make even more trouble.
Would it be better to, in future, just the equivalent of Dynamesh, whatever it is, in
yeah, I could box and merge. I could what's it called? Combine things together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a good alternative. Just making sure that I am still being symmetrical. So I have 1, 2, 3, 2 connections. 1, 2, 3, perfect. And I have my poles down here, and this is gonna continue my ring. Just gotta tweak these a little bit. I'm gonna fill this up. That didn't feel as I wanted. That's what I want. Hey! I'm still not super used to the gestures. Again, if you want to learn the gestures and all that, just look at the tutorials that come in here. They're super fast, they're super easy to understand. Like, they're so good that I don't see the need to create a YouTube video about how to use the software. I think that is more valuable to just show you the logic behind topology. That is more valuable. This is merely a tool. Whoop, 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 whoop. And look, we have... Hey, why are you not painting my lip? Maybe because it's connected. I'm gonna do this. Hey, I said I'm gonna do this. Yes. Start to get a bit faster there. Whoop. Yes. And complete here. Connect. Relax a bit. Move a touch. Will you recognize my loop? It's no. I have it. There you go. Loop. See how I still have the loops on the belly? And how I connected it nicely there to the arm. So I'm preserving the loops that I want. I will still have the movement along the body. And I have the arms being able to move independently. So these are like my transitions where I have those stars. So far I haven't had the need to add triangles. I am sure I will need to. Triangles are not the devil. Some of you maybe in school, in some YouTube video, might read about, oh, triangles are the devil. They are not. There's a use for triangles. However, when we're teaching, when you are starting on 3D, we are purist about quads, because to control triangles, first you need to control quads. If you're not in control with quads, with these polygons of 4 sides, you're gonna make a mess with triangles. This looks easy, but I have spent years, bloody so many years, trying to figure this out. Just topologizing and retopologizing and retopologizing and proper modeling. So triangles are not the devil, but learn to control quads. Were you gonna say something on the same?
You're hurting a bunch of teachers' feelings.
I'm a teacher as well.
For simplicity, when you're teaching, it's easier to teach just to have quads, because explaining when to have triangles is like the 2 or 3 steps in the future.
Yeah.
So the point of teaching, when you're teaching retopology, to only have quads is to simplify the process for students. And then once you get to a point where you can actually make a model all quads, then you can say, okay, here's where you should put tries, and you should understand by now why you can get away with it in these spots, or why it's useful in these spots.
Yes.
Otherwise, students would just put tries everywhere because they're lazy, and it's easier.
Because it's easier, yeah.
Yeah. And they're lazier, let's be honest.
Yes. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
There's always a lazy time. I was a massive nerd during school, and I had my lazy times. Oh my god, I'm trying to access that polygon inside the leg, and it's becoming a pain. It's kind of like switching to the other side. And this is why it would be great to be able to hide part of the model, but that is a feature that is not available on this version of CozyBlanket. I did it! Come on! Oh, it doesn't want to add that poly. It's really damn annoying. We can do it. We can do it. Come on. Oh god. I'm just like going side to side. It's so silly. Oh my god. I feel like yesterday when I was trying to catch a horse, and it was like,
you might want to put some context into that.
What's that?
You might want to put some context into that.
Into the horse?
Into why you were trying to catch a horse yesterday.
Oh, well, I ride horses.
Didn't just go find a
yeah,
farm or a field.
It's not like there's horses in New Zealand just in the streets in the city. You might find them on the beach though. You're like walking around and then a horsey comes by.
Is it wild horses?
I don't know if there's wild horses.
There's wild horses in Australia, so I don't wonder if there is here.
Anyway, I went riding and I was trying to catch a horsey, but this horsey loves to run away. So just like I was going like, oh, try to polygon here, try to put a polygon there. That's what I was doing yesterday. Horsey went to the right, I went to the right. Horsey saw me going to the right, he went to the left. So it was like trying to get the Horsey. That's how I feel like trying to get those polygons in that are a massive pain. So I'm gonna move to a different side so you are not bored with me being frustrated by this.
What do the different colors mean?
The colors are mainly the loops, the main rings that are going around. I like to use them to identify that I'm keeping things in order. Like when I made the connection here, that I didn't break the ring. Because like here, this is what is called the edge flow. I'm gonna try to do something funky to explain edge flow. So I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Gonna do, yeah, let's do that, let's do that, and let's do that. I don't think that worked. Sorry, give me just 1 second. Is it like this? Oh, I think I was right. Okay, so hold on, no. I almost got it! To show you what the hell this means. Yes, see how this is no longer going around the leg. It's not going up.
Have a look at chat, Érika.
What's that?
Have a look at chat.
Yes. Oh, Joan Fons, hello! Yeah, no, thank you for the cool app. Nice. Oh, that's really awesome to have you here, guys. Joan Fons, it's one of the CozyBlanket developers. I really like the app, honestly, and it's fun to have a look around. I gotta say my favorite feature is the rings, being able to paint the rings, the poly loops. I have struggled so much keeping track that things are in order. So yeah, kudos, man. I look forward for what the app brings next. Alright, going back to the loops. See how my rings are going around. Woohoo! Perfect! That's the ring that I want for the deformation. But sometimes when I start getting crazy, I can break this ring. In this case, I broke the ring that is going from top to bottom. Can I have... I still struggle sometimes with the gestures. Nope, that was a delete. Well, anyway, see how this is going like this. Actually, see, I added that, and it's flowing in that direction. That's the direction I wanted to follow. In this case, in the leg, I would like it to go vertical like that. But because of what I did, see how it loops around. So by keeping this with colors, it helps me make sure that I'm doing the right thing and I'm not accidentally breaking my rings. Yeah, I don't need this here. There might be another reason why I might need it, but this is not the right example for it. Anyway, just gonna carry on with my silly humming song. Will I be able to add that? What? I did it! It's just the one that is like really high up, the ones that I'm struggling with. Whoop, whoop! Alright, I'm gonna clean that color, otherwise it's gonna get me a little bit confused. And let's get to the tricky part. Connecting the ring that goes around the belly, excuse me, with the ring that is in the leg, and then I have to connect the ring in the tail. I started this 10:30, so it's been a bit longer than an hour so far, right?
Yeah, it's an hour and 15, so how long do you want to go?
I'll go for 20 more minutes. At least I'm gonna try to connect this at the bottom, this leg and this. Hopefully it gives you an idea. I'm planning to continue this project. I am planning to make a tutorial, kind of like with the whole overview of getting a sculptor ready for rigging an animation. So let's do this. Let's do it. I will need, of course, poles there. Just getting a few extra polygons. The tail dots will definitely need some triangle work. Okay, now gotta align things. How am I gonna do this? See how this is connected to the arm? See how that flows there to the arm, flows to the arm. So I think it would make sense to do the same for the leg. So I'm doing this, and that's what I mean. See how that is going all the way from here all the way to the arm. That will be helpful. We'll do a similar thing here. I know that I don't have quite the curvature I want there yet, but we will do our best. So that is good. Will I need a pole there? I don't know. Very likely. Michael is getting another coffee. Now, I am getting that line there on the right. I don't know if I will be able to get this one flowing all the way up. See how that is, instead of flowing down, it's taking a turn, which I may need because I need more space here. I need to fill all this area, so I will need to have that extra bit there. We will see. I am still figuring out what is the best way to solve this. Cool puzzle. Now it's happening the same over here. I'm starting to fill too many areas. This is too much to fill with one polygon, so I might start considering my pole, my star. Remember? There's 5. Let's see how now that starts connecting nicer. Let's try to finish this. Catching the horse. Oh my god, I caught the horse. Yes, I was able to fill up that loop. Okay, so I got that loop. Oh, come on, I wanna paint it. See, ring, ring, and at the top also a ring. The classical way to test if the rings were in the right direction was to add an extra edge there, but I so much prefer the colors. Sobrio is asking, hello Érika, thanks for sharing. Could you ask John Fonts it's possible to unfold UV toolkit for CozyBlanket? I don't think that John Fonts is still on the stream. I'm sure that you can contact directly support if you want to contact them for more specific questions, but I definitely can say that there's a UV tool if you wanted to unfold this for painting. There's here on the right an area in which you can move. I'm not done, but there's a UV. It's really cool. I enjoy it. I will cover that later. I have been a little behind with my video making because my silly hands had been in pain. I've been getting like inflamed tendons and they hurt and I cry and I cannot make videos when I cry. Well, I guess I can, but they won't be great. It's okay guys, I will survive. You don't have to cry for me. Michael is making a coffee, which is why he's bashing stuff. Making coffee, it's such a violent process. When you make it with the espresso machine, it's so loud. Like sometimes I think about like, oh, I'm going to a coffee shop, like to relax and spend a nice time focusing on something. It's so loud. It's just like the, I don't know, the milk frothers when they are getting rid of the coffee beans from the wand. It's like, man, making espresso is a good way to get rid of frustrations. Okay, so I'm kinda, I wanna say just going with the flow here, kinda feeling these spaces naturally. This is this is a bit unfair to you guys because I am doing things without necessarily being able to explain them, because I've done this quite a bit. So I am kind of like intuitively filling up these areas, but I don't necessarily have an explanation. I can tell you there's more stars here which are occurring naturally, but this is not a deformation area. The deformation is here at the ring, the deformation is here at this ring there, but it's not happening here, so this is safe. What I would like though is to keep the stars on the same location. See how I have my star connected to this ring, but this star is not. I would prefer it to keep them like that. So I will try to move my star there. That makes a bit more sense. We'll see how we can connect this to make sense. Now this is also gonna happen. See, this is a 3 pole connection. So we talked about, I will erase. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not very well. Okay, a star with 5 edges. We have, of course, the classic one when we're creating quads is connected to 4 edges, but we will also see at times, usually very close to the 5 edge star, that we're gonna end up with a 3 one. This is also okay. It's only when we go more than 5 that is a no-no. +5. Going back to the CozyBlanket. So again, this 3 one is okay, but same rules apply as a 5 one. I kind of want to keep it away from deformation areas. A Prisma 3D. Can I make a Prisma 3D?
Have you ever heard of that?
I don't actually. Please elaborate. Do you know at all?
Literally Googling it now.
Okay.
My internet's running real bad. How's yours?
I think that it was struggling a bit for a second. That wasn't... yes, I do have a background of Night in the Woods. I love that game. Okay. It's... I don't know about this, guys. It's looking a little bit messy. I'm not loving it. So let's try to fill this up. I feel like it's starting to get a bit too messy here. See how that loop flowing, that is going up and down. I mean, I will definitely need some kind of division here for the tail. But honestly, I could also have the tail just being an intersecting mesh, and that saves me a lot of issues instead of trying to connect it.
But that's going to be rough when you rig it.
Yes, correct. The best way to become a better modeler and retopologizer, if you want to call it like that, is at least experiment a little bit with animation, or talk to an animator, talk to a rigger. What are the needs of the project? What things are helping, what things are not helping? Oh, that tail is gonna be funky. Or maybe not. Let's see. I will definitely need a pole here. Another connection there. I kinda see how I have this ring here on the tail. I kinda wanna get a ring also around there. That's sort of my thinking, if that makes sense. There. Oops. There. It's a bit messy. You need to relax a little. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, and I'm making sure that these are connectable. This is connectable. Oh, this might be working, guys. This might be working. I think there was a feature to, yes. I was thinking about other software that when you put the points together, they like snap and they mix, but not in CozyBlanket. I need to like be like, hey, connect this one with this one for them to join. This one with this one. It's a nice gesture, I gotta say.
3D code, eh?
I think that's more Maya Quadro.
Oh, okay.
I use Maya a lot for work. I have not used 3D code in a little while. And in case you're wondering what I do for a job, I am a video game artist. This is mostly what I'm focusing this on, being a game asset, because that's where my experience is at. That's a weird way to solve this.
Morning, Joel.
Yo! Hi, Joel. How are you doing? Always happy to see you here. I don't know about that connection. See, we have a triangle, which actually would be like a full quad. Like, it's just, it's not drawing. Well, if I see, wait, didn't work. Connect that one with that one. Nope, see how I get like a massive, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because it's from the other side as well, so that is not a good pull. But anyway, I'm kind of resolving things here with a triangle, which I'm not super loving it, but in theory that works. Or not. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I have a 6 pole star. I will need to get rid of this, but because I am mirroring, actually, wait, yeah, this is the trick. This is all I need. Yes, this like kite. That is a good way to resolve it. That kite, and that's a quad, and then I would have 6. It's not my favorite type of resolving things. Usually you want to avoid quads that are kites. But it's a non-deformable area, so we might get away with it. I just wish that when I am not in mirror, this would stay, but it's kind of breaking it. And if I feel it, it becomes a triangle. I have to probably later take this into another software and manually erase this edge. Slightly annoying. It might be a better way to resolve this, but it's experimenting. Sometimes I just need to get away for a little while and then come back, and then I'm like, oh, actually, this makes more sense. Yeah, it's bothering me quite a bit, I gotta say. Oh, that's... I'll leave it for now. Oh, sorry, Joel, I didn't see what you were commenting. You try to make that row of quads that flow up in the front center of the cat flow at the center of the back, even if that means going up and down the tail. That's very smart.
I wondered if that was, I just couldn't have any context.
Oh my god, that's so much better. Thank you. See? Sometimes I am, Michael will tell you, I will get tunnel vision so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm stuck with some kind of solution when there's something way simple.
Woods for the trees sometimes.
Yes. Thank you, Joel. What would I do without you? Ha. Oh my god. That's so silly of me that I didn't do it. Guys, go to Joel's channel. Check out what he's doing. This guy is a brilliant artist, and I am just so excited for whatever he's gonna be creating in the future, because he already does amazing stuff. And you're 18, isn't that right, y'all? And I'm just jealous of, because I was never that productive when I was 18. Yes, this super makes more sense. Now I will have that is gonna like go around. See how it goes in the front? It's gonna go around the tail, and then it's gonna come back in the center and connect here at the back as well. That is what I want. This blue one, it's not what we want anymore. Ha ha ha, this makes more sense. Surround yourself with good people like Joel that help you sort problems. And don't be a silly like me that I have the answer right there that he wrote and I was not doing it. I was just wasting time. That is lovely. Hopefully this is giving you an idea of retopology, especially for those that are new at this. It sometimes breaks your head.
Sometimes you just need to reset a little bit.
Yeah. This area. It's a weird quad. Not loving that way, but that makes no sense. Was it? Ah! Fill that quad. What's the best solution for this? This is where it gets tricky. And again, you can be lazy like I was and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna fill this with triangles and it will all be fine. But that's not always the best way to do things. Is that a nice solution? Maybe. Nope, that's a massive star. What am I doing? What am I doing, Michael?
I don't know, my stream is significantly behind yours.
Oh, damn.
So I can't see what you're doing live unless I stand next to you, which you don't want.
Nope, I made a pole again. Gosh. Let me go back to where I was.
What are you trying to solve?
Hmm?
What area are you trying to solve?
This.
Oh, the star? You're trying to get the...
I don't know if this is the best way to...
Where is it? Which area of the mesh am I looking at?
Nah, this is the bottom.
Just zoom out a touch so I can get the context.
Yep.
Can you not carry... Oh, where do you want that pole to be ideally?
Wow.
Because it's going to be somewhere. So you've got that one there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think this one makes sense to go here.
Yeah, that's fine, I think.
And for the leg, I put them right at the edge.
If you collapse this point into here, is it better, or is that just a bad redirection?
What? If it lets me. Oh, but I end up with a massive...
Yeah, too big of a poly.
Yeah, I could just like fill this poly here. Oh, if it lets me. There you go. But...
Or do you add a oh no, because yeah.
I don't love it.
I mean, just because of you're going to have that ring, you're going to end up with it, I think. Because you've got the appendage on the left that's going to send one that way, and then you've got the body which is going to send one.
Oh, it's sending it to the arm. That's not ideal. Topology, guys. It's not easy. So far it was going really smooth.
What if you carried this line here into the bottom of the tail?
This, like this?
Yeah. That, or... Oh no, you're already doing it into that. I mean, you're asking the worst person also. Like, I hate retopology, I just told you to do it. Or, you know, cheated.
No, that's not directing it. I need to get rid of this one. This might start getting a bit abstract for you guys. But it's sort of what Michael was saying, redirecting this leg underneath the tail. See how now this ring is like going up and going down. That might be a nice solution. It will be experimenting, and I won't know for sure if this works until I am playing with animation here. Looks a bit funky. Boof. Boof. It's also very warm. And I can't open the window because it's really noisy out there. Thumbnail. So you hear a lot of cars because of that big avenue. There's a hospital nearby. So yeah, we get quite a bit of ambulances. We're lucky we don't live in a high crime neighborhood. This city.
To our knowledge.
To our knowledge. Yes, 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 yes.
We haven't been robbed, so.
And hopefully will remain that way. Anyway, I will keep it like this. I need to spend more time trying to figure out this bottom here, and I don't think it's fair for you guys to just be having me like poking at it. Silly iterations that are taking me nowhere. I am working on a video that will cover this. It's gonna give you an overview to get the character ready for animation and rigging, all in the iPad. So you will get to see what is the solution to that. But yeah, retopology takes a while. It needs some thinking, it needs some understanding, and a lot of practice. I have done this over and over again. I've spent easily hundreds of hours working on this. And each project is gonna have different needs, so there might be different solutions. You're not always gonna find the right one. Thank you, Nils. Who says I learn from the struggles and poking? No worries here. I appreciate that. It's always nice that you guys don't give me a hard time for being silly, which you don't get to see on the other tutorials because I edit all that out. It looks easy. It looks as if I work super fast, but I really don't. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. I look forward for our next live stream. I look forward to see your work. So always feel free to tag me. You will see down here Érika Kassab. Usually the Instagrams, that's the easiest way to reach out to me. And again, just share work. I love to see your work. I love to share what you guys have been doing. I got a beautiful collection, and I look forward to see more of that. Want to say bye, Michael?
Bye, Michael.
Yep, that's Michael. Alright, catch you later.